Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading of today, a Tuesday, here at MadWorldTarot. And we are digging around in the past today, Meghan's past, and that is because her cousin Sean Johnson was interviewed by the Daily Mail, had been through the family photo album and produced photos of Meghan's childhood described as idyllic in that article. I've just had a look at that brief look in the previous reading. Now I'm going to go in a bit deeper into Meghan's childhood because it's topical at the moment. I want to know how she experienced it, how she experienced in terms of her emotions. Was she happy as a child? How she felt? Were they comfortably off, or did she feel deprived? I want to know her relationship with her mom and her dad, how she experienced those relationships, and then how she described them to Harry. And I want to know, finally, how her childhood influenced her childhood experience and how she might have perhaps reimagined it or reinvented it later on. Because she has, of course, cut off everyone from her childhood, her entire family and her childhood friends, except for one, Doria. So, Apprentice Tarot on the tarot table today is just regular Rider-Waite with some keywords on it for people who are learning tarot or need a bit of a reminder. We're going to have a look at this, and I will explain the cards as I go through them, as I always do, and see what Meghan's childhood was really like. Happy or sad, privileged or not, relationship with mum, relationship with dad, as described to Harry, might be a bit different, and how it molded her, shaped her, influenced her, and how she might have reimagined it. And one more shuffle, apparently. There we go. Interesting cards come out there. And let's remind you, as I always do, it's tarot. It's tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all speculation. It's just my opinion, just reading energy, and disclaimer in the box below. So, childhood. Sorry, I'm knocking the camera as I'm stretching across the tarot table to lay the cards out. That's Doria, that's Thomas Markle, and that's how it's molded her past, and what she's reshaped. King of Wands comes out as our underlying energy in this one. King of Wands is quite a Harry card. He does show up as the King of Wands sometimes, in the sense of new leadership qualities, dynamic leadership qualities, excitement, drama, theatre, image management, that kind of stuff as a King of Wands. It's also her energy. She can show up as a male energy. We can all show up as opposite gender in tarot readings. As in the master of this theatre, King of Wands. She, of course, is a fire sign woman. She normally shows up as Queen of Wands. But King of Wands is fine. I get it. It's more. I've got to tread carefully in these woke days, but it's possibly more dynamic energy, more of the image management kind of a vibe here with the King of Wands. So that is interesting. PR type people. And she does have a team of PR people around her and has had for a long time. So she's quite used to managing her image and possibly depicting it in more glorious terms or more dramatic terms than actually happened. That's a very interesting energy to come out as our underlying energy. So it sits under everything else in this reading. The heart of this reading, the situation, we are dealing with Meghan's childhood. We have a Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles is a child card. You can read keywords. As related to this reading, childhood, it tells me that she might have viewed her childhood as less than stable. Because the Page of Pentacles upright is a very stable energy. It knows where it belongs. It's a student energy as well. So it's learning. She might have experienced her childhood, and she came from a broken home, of course, and Doria disappeared famously for 10 years. Mysteriously disappeared for 10 years. That's the unstable nature of her past experience. It might have affected her schooling, her ability to study, to learn, to concentrate, focus, to hone skills. The Page of Pentacles for childhood development is routine, is being comfortable in a place. If you're learning something, say dance classes or theatre, going to drama lessons, or as I said, dance. I'm trying to relate it to Megan specifically. Those kinds of activities that might get messed up if you're moving around, or who's looking after you this weekend. Sometimes those things can fall by the wayside, unfortunately. And I'm not just talking about Megan now. It can happen. That's the energy that's coming to me from that card. It's not telling me, oh, they were destitute, even though it is a money card. It's more about the environment and how stable the environment was or not. So it's a rather sad energy. And we do these diggings around from time to time to try and see why people are the way that they are, and try and perhaps develop some compassion for them that we might not automatically feel. So let's see her experience of her childhood according to the energy of these cards. Happy or sad, first of all? Temperance. That's an interesting card because it rings bells for me. I think that I have got this card for her before, a long time ago, in a similar kind of a reading. And it always is important when I get those kinds of confirmations as a tarot reader. Temperance card is about harmony. We've been talking about an unstable background, unstable home. Temperance is trying to appease two sides, with those cups and the water passing from one to the other. Blended families, very much the Temperance card. There are half siblings in that household that she has subsequently denied or claimed that weren't around in her life at all. That's blended families, trying to placate both parents, being one thing to one, another thing to another. Also tricky when you come from a broken home. Different dynamics in different households, having to hear, and this is something I'm sure she relates to with Harry, having to hear the one mouthing off about the other. And of course, if you're trying to act from your highest self and your best quality, you try not to do that, but not everyone is in that same vibe, unfortunately. So I think she spent a lot of time really working quite hard to placate people, to pacify, to be all things to everyone. Quite interesting. That's how it's coming through for me anyway. Money. Did she feel like she was deprived in her childhood, that they were broke, that it was worrying, she had to go out and work? She felt that she had to economize. Two of Pentacles. Pretty much what that card is about. She might have felt going to a private school, being surrounded with people in their part of the world, the area that she lived in, where there was a lot of money on very conspicuous display, conspicuous consumption, that particular part of the world. She might have felt deprived, even if she wasn't technically deprived, that she only had 2 pentacles and other people might have had 9 or 10 pentacles that she was in very close contact with. And that she had to economize and scrimp and save and contemplate, really think hard before she spent any money. Or perhaps Dad, even though there was the limo that fetched her from school and took her over to the studio when they were shooting Married with Children, that was pretty glamorous, but maybe not as glamorous as other people. And Dad might have said, listen, I'm paying for your private school, or I'm saving to send you to university, and so no, you can't have all the designer gear that you absolutely want. She might have got certain things. A lot of people speculate there were things like a little bit of tweaking of the nose and stuff like that quite early on, but not everything that she wanted. 2 of Pentacles. Both cards talk about balancing and trying to keep things on an even keel. So she had to work pretty hard, not washing dishes, not waiting tables, not doing that kind of thing that she's sort of claimed, not entirely claimed, but sort of alluded to. No, more internally. So mom, we're going to put mom first here. Her relationship with mom when she was growing up, how was it? 7 of Pentacles. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Mom wasn't around because it's my time card, the 7 of Pentacles. Effort put in. Effort, then reaping the rewards, investments. Mom didn't put the time in, she might have been something else with time. Let's just leave that there, that little bit of snark, speculating, of course. If she was doing anything of that sort with time, shall I just say it like that? A lot of rumors around that, unfounded. And so let's move on to the fact that she just wasn't around. She didn't put effort in. She wasn't there for the dance classes and the school plays, the boring stuff that Thomas Markle showed up for, rehearsals, things like that, doing homework. I don't know who did homework with her, but she wasn't there. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. She was absent. She wasn't putting the time and the effort in to Megan's development. Definitely not. According to these cards, of course. And we know that Doria was absent for 10 years. So I don't have to say, allegedly. How did Megan portray it to Harry? Or does she describe it to Harry? So she said about Doria and her childhood with Doria. Wheel of Fortune. That is the good luck card. That those were the good times. When Doria was around, those were the good times. That was when fortune smiled. And she did go on holiday overseas with Doria, as far as I can tell. They were happy times when the money was flowing and the good times were rolling in. That was when her life lit up. So poor old Thomas, who did all the dull stuff, was there every day, made sure there was food on the table, made sure that Megan got home safely from school, that there was someone looking after her after school. Did all that, the boring stuff. I'm calling it the boring stuff. It's not the right word, but it's the dutiful stuff. It's the show up all the time stuff. That didn't do it for Megan. And that, again, is typical of this kind of situation. The parent who's not around, the parent that drifts in and out, is the exciting one. You never know when they're going to show up. You don't know what they're going to bring for you. Gifts, presents. Come on, cut school. Let's go on holidays to somewhere exotic. Pack your bikini. That's all you need. How exciting is that? That's Wheel of Fortune. So poor old Thomas. What was her experience of growing up with Thomas? The world. That is where she got her taste of fame with the world card, because it is that success. He was successful and she saw it. Emmys, mixing with very famous people, acclaimed, earning big bucks. He was earning big bucks in those days. He was successful. And this is what she wanted. I want it too. I want what you've got. Definitely. So Doria was the sweep in and, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is so exciting. This is how I want my life to be. I want it to follow that shape. I want to be as successful as you are. I want to be in the limelight like you are. Well, he's not really, but he's around people who are in the limelight, or he was. Very, very successful. Achievement, expert. It's that she got from him. What about what she told Harry? I've got the Fool in reverse. She's told him negative things about Thomas Markle, definitely. That he was reckless, stupid, probably has told Harry that he was stupid with money, reckless with money, that he squandered money. He was a fool. He wasn't wise in his life. He didn't invest wisely. He had opportunities which he wasted. He had the whole world at his feet and he wasted it. The Fool in the reverse. The Fool in the reverse also is, I'm not going there again. I'm not having another go round with that man. It's done. It's finished. There will not be a second chance with that. So we've got big cards here in this reading. How did her childhood mold her, influence her, shape her? What in particular can we find out? Six of Cups in reverse. She views it as unhappy. Six of Cups. So whatever cousin Sean was saying about, oh, it was wonderful, it was happy, they had lovely times together, she was happy, parents loved her, she went on nice holidays, she had everything that she could possibly desire. It's not how she sees it. She looks back at the past and she views it as unhappy. She was unhappy. Family was unhappy. The family dynamic was unhappy. She views it as memories that were sour, difficult, hurtful, unpleasant memories, basically. Six of Cups in reverse. Not a place she wants to revisit, as we have seen from the Fool in reverse. Not going back there. Don't want that life again. Don't want those people in my life anymore. So how has she possibly reinvented her past to sell a narrative? King of Wands is, of course, sitting underneath this entire reading, lest we forget. Has she at all? Or is it exactly as she imagined it? Three of Wands. She certainly has, I would say, taken advantage of her past in a particular way, in selling a particular story. She has sent out those ships with that narrative, that story, and she has played that to bring return to herself. That is what the Three of Wands is about. It's about expectation. It's about benefiting from a situation, expecting benefit from a situation, waiting for it, hoping for it. So I would say, reading these cards, my opinion is that she has sent out that message, that particular narrative, King of Wands, describing her childhood in a particular way in order to grow and expand her brand, her reputation, her relationship with Harry. If she told Harry that it was a deprived background and she had to go out and work hard and she's a self-made woman and nobody helped her, least of all her family, they didn't help, she did it all herself, it's impressive. And there is benefit, there is some return for her from sending that story out, that particular version of events out. It's not terribly sinister, it's not duplicitous, it's massaging things to make herself look better for a certain advantage, shall we say. That's how I'm seeing it. And that's, according to the cards, how she saw it and then described it to Harry. So that's the reading, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.